Hi, it's Gila, sacred erotic self-love poet, mentor, and mystic and author. I'm so excited today. It's the collaboration Ascension Healing, and I have Melinda Van Fleet with me today. She has so many hats that she wears, and I just wanted to share everything. So just give me a moment. She's a number one international best-selling and number one business best-selling author. And she's a multi-passionate success coach, speaker, author who helps women develop confidence to believe in themselves, take action, and get results. So important. Melinda believes many women are stuck and not living their best lives, and they can. I love that. Thank you so much, Melinda, for being here today.
Thank you for having me. This is awesome. Thank you.
I wanted to tell everybody that we met in a book program. It was like a 3 month book program with Laura DeFranco, and we were both writing our books. And so, Melinda, I want you to tell us about your upcoming book that's coming up. I believe it's about confidence, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And if it's possible to be nervous and super excited at the same time, that would be me right now. So here's my little mock up.
Oh,
So it's my mock-up that I highly advise anyone to get a mock-up and do that before you launch, to kind of carry it around with you and take pictures and use on things like this. But yes, I had this feeling, this calling to start writing about confidence in different niches back in early 2020. And I just kept journaling and I was like, oh, I could write about this. And my husband and I have so many stories together. And I have so many stories separately. Heck, I'm 49 years old. I'm going to be 50 in, April. So I have a corporate background. I have my experience with my husband of us both losing our jobs at the same time in 2009. We moved to the Keys and started over completely from scratch, not knowing anyone, no jobs, hardly any money, and never even been here. So I have all those
yeah.
stories of how we rebuilt ourselves, how he built his sport fishing business. So I felt like I just have so much to share. so so it just started coming out of me in regards to just different confidence related niches. So my first book, like you mentioned, and like I showed you, is what is releasing March 9th. And it's Confidence Mastery for Couples, Roadmap to a More Intimate Relationship. And it's a lot of my self journey too. So even though the title has couples, there's lots of shit just about me and what I've learned and how that can hopefully relate and help you as well. So my second book will be spiritual. My third book will be coaching. So I have just like a whole collection in my head that will be coming to paper. So yeah, so it's been
Wow.
fun. It's been, as you know, as being an author yourself, it's a journey, right?
Totally. It's totally a journey. And that's fantastic that you already have some books mapped out or in your mind, ready to come out, birthing the process. That's amazing. But I'd love to talk about this book that's coming out. When is it coming out exactly? What's the date?
Tuesday, March 9th. So a little less than 2 weeks.
Yes. Oh
Mm-hmm.
my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. I'm so excited. I want to talk about confidence a bit because I know that, well, I just like to hear your side of it because I think that for women, I just from that perspective as a woman, as well as in a relationship, because I know that I've been in, obviously had many shares of my share of relationships in my life. And sometimes I know that I used to get caught up in the couple, and lose myself a bit. And I'd love for you to talk about that, like first your personal journey, and then how it connects to the two of you.
Yeah, yeah. And I love talking about confidence because if you think about everything you're going through in your life or that you want to accomplish, there's some aspect of confidence needed or involved or they need to work on. Like it's just like an evergreen theme. So I actually didn't meet my husband till I was 34. Almost, when we got married, it was almost 35. So to me at that time, because like I said, I'm 49, it was late. I mean, that was kind of late. I had a lot of emotions around that. I felt I was always on a journey for a boyfriend. I felt very shamed when someone would say, "Why don't you have a boyfriend?" And it was like nails on a chalkboard. I was very grateful that I had, amazing career and a lot of friends and supportive family, but I was always in the back of my head struggling with, why don't I have a boyfriend? Everyone else is getting married. Everyone else is, having families even. And I was the last of my friends to get married. Always the bridesmaid, and it was really, really, really tough. I write a lot about it in the book, some various stories. Some are kind of funny. I've gotten some feedback like, "Oh my gosh, that's kind of wild," but yeah, because it's a journey, and I had a lot of self work to do during that time, and in that time, in that moment, especially back then, there wasn't social media. So, there wasn't, an Instagram where you're like, oh, what's an affirmation? I can take this course and start to learn about myself. What's a coach? None of that existed back then. And so no one knew that really had to work on yourself. Like that just didn't exist as a concept, especially in my 20s. Like I'm partying, I'm having fun. I'm, working, trying to survive, pay the bills. I wasn't like thinking, oh, I got to work on myself. Like that just didn't exist. So I started to kind of wake up in my 30s. And that's when things started to click that I had a controlling nature. I had to do a lot of like revelation, like where did that come from? And that's a lot that I write about in the book and we'll be continuing to write about as more things come out. And I feel like once I kind of got through some of that self journey, and then what ended up happening was I was in a really toxic relationship, which isn't talked about in this book, but will be in the next book because it has more of a spiritual basis to it. But I got out of that toxic relationship. And then my sister ended up telling me she was pregnant. And I was so excited. I'm like, oh my God, my sister's pregnant. And then I was like, I'm just going to be an awesome aunt. And I just let it go. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to let it go. And then I ended up meeting my husband. So, but I don't think if I hadn't done that work of starting to wake up at least and starting to realize my controlling nature was turning people off, and I'm still not perfect. That's what I really want people to understand. It's like the work never stops. Like I am still not perfect. I can still be a complete control freak. Ask my husband. But at least I like now I'm more aware of it, right? And I recognize it and I either try to catch it or fix it or apologize, any of those combinations. I'm at least more aware of it now than I was, in my 20s and 30s. And, that's just one example of a block that was happening, energetically, number one. And that people were just like, probably like, oh God, she's like, too much for me. She's too much. So, so it's having those, revelations, those aha moments, those times where you can go. And that's what I hope with the stories I share, because there's a lot of stories share versus just, words and, it has some tips and tools, but it's more of the stories that I hope people kind of pull out and relate and have aha moments. And it's more of that people that you start to go, oh, okay, I kind of do something similar to that. Wow, maybe that's something that's blocking me, or maybe that's something that's holding me back, or maybe that's why this didn't work out, because there's so many different scenarios that we all go through. So that's kind of where my heart was when I wrote the book. And then it ventures into the fact that my husband and I, we've been together 16 years now, which feels like even longer. But, we go through shit every day. So,
and it's good to be real.
Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, this morning, like every day I could like tell you something. And it's just constant. And I just feel that, if I can help one person go, oh, my husband and I have something similar that happens, then that will help them at least start to break free of whatever they're struggling with, and start to move forward. So
That's fantastic. I really love that. And I want to just share that, I think a lot of women have been told you're too much. And I just wanted to share something about that because I really feel like really deep down, like none of us are too much. Like we're just not too much. It's just, can we find the right energy to match us? Like
thank
not
you.
everybody
I
can
love
match
that.
us.
I knew I love you for a reason. Thank you. Totally.
But
Totally.
yeah, I think that especially with and I agree with you. Like, I mean, I got married when I was like in my late 20s, but I also kind of had that feeling too. Like everyone was getting married, and like there's that thing like this pressure, and like I didn't have the internet either when I was younger, and so I was just like, yeah, well, what am I supposed to do? Like what are you gonna do, right? And things happen the way they happen, but I feel that confidence is a really important part of that, because unless we have confidence, we settle. Like I settled, like sometimes we settle. And,
Mhm.
and I feel like, well, that's karma, I guess there's something I had to learn. But if I had the confidence that I have now, I know I would have been in a different place. But, perhaps this was my journey. But that's why I think that it's so important what you're doing, because when people are looking to really step into their power, confidence is a really important part of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And no one should, to what you're saying, because I completely agree with you, no one should feel bad about their journey. Your journey is just your journey. Like you can't change it. I love that saying, what the rear view mirror is smaller than the front window. And it's so true. Like it's just your memories in the past to help you and to help others. And one of the reasons why I'm writing the third book on coaching is because not only am I a coach, but I've had many coaches, but we're all coaches. All of us are coaches, and we use our journeys and our memories and our stories that have helped us build confidence or move through whatever situations we're dealing with. And we all can help each other. Like we can all help each other. So, yeah. So I
Yeah,
want
I
everyone
really
to
love that.
just like appreciate and be grateful for their journeys that they've had in their lives, instead of sitting there like, oh, poor, woe is me, and blah, blah, blah. That doesn't freaking solve a dang thing. Like you need to celebrate. You need to find it within you, or have someone help you to celebrate that.
That's really true. That's really true. And I really like that because part of the words for this year for me are sovereignty and wholeness. And, when
Mm.
we can totally accept and really love who we are, who we become through all these experiences, it really adds so much to our lives. And, I have children, and it really helps me to like connect to them on all their different levels. They're in their pre-teenage to teenage years. And this is the time, they're starting to have those hormones and, thinking about dating and all of that other stuff. And so I agree with you. I agree with you. I think that we are whole. And I really love the fact that you said that everyone has something to share,
Hmm.
because I truly believe that too. All of us have so much wisdom inside. And it's just about tapping into it. And I put your link to your site right here. So if anybody's interested in finding out more about Melinda and her work, she also has a free gift that you can also talk about a little bit right now if you'd like to.
Yeah, sure. I had developed it during COVID, and it's called the Free Believe and Take Action Daily Guide. And you just go on my website. There's a pop up at the top, and I think a thing pops up like in a couple of seconds or whatever. But yeah, it's just what I ended up doing, because I feel that the work I've done over the past several years has really moved me forward. And that's the thing. So I've taken action. I've believed in myself. Those things have helped me build my confidence. And I felt like, these are tools. These are tools that are out there. You might read it and be like, oh, I know that. But are you doing the work? So the guide is about really having a tool, this printable guide, where you can actually track yourself and do the work, because you can roll your eyes at me and go, yeah, Melinda, I know I need to meditate and I don't do it. Well, you're not going to have any change unless you're doing the action. So it all kind of goes hand in hand. So I took different various tools and that I have been using and as a daily practice, and put it together for you to have as well, so you can also try to put together a daily practice and see some change, take some action and see some change, because that change is what builds your confidence. So yeah, thank you for letting me share that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I really encourage anyone who's listening to go to Melinda's website and to download that, sign up for her newsletter, because I think that you're exactly right. We are creatures of habit, and when we have habits that don't serve us, it doesn't actually help to change our life. So when we actually, I've done many 21-day, habit changing things, to change the way we do things. And I think it's very, very powerful because we begin to shift. Hi, Lulu. Lulu's here. Lulu says hello.
Oh, that's awesome.
So yeah, I really, really appreciate that. I think it's so important. You were going to say something? I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I was just waving. The little pop-up came at the bottom. You have to set up so nice, Gila. I love it.
Thank you. I'm glad that you're doing what you're doing, and your book is coming out on March 9th. Where will it be available so people have the know?
Yeah, so right away I'll be available on Amazon as paperback, ebook, and Audible. So,
oh my God.
Yeah, so part of my nervousness is I think I get my Audible files today, so I have to figure out how to download them. So everybody wish me luck.
You're amazing, Melinda. My paperback is still coming out. The Audible is going to be in a few months, but you got it all together, all on March 9th. I mean, that's incredible. Can you tell us a little bit about why you chose March 9th? Would you like to share that?
Yeah, actually, yes. My brother passed away, and that's his birthday. So my brother, I'm the oldest child, and thank you for asking me. I'm the oldest child. My brother was in the middle, and my sister's the youngest. And when my brother was 29, he fell over and tragically passed away from blood clots. And we didn't know for months what killed him. He literally was with his two friends, and he passed over and died. So I love my brother very much. He is one of my angels. I know that. And when I was trying to pick a date, I was like, okay, this kind of makes sense. I'm like, let's make it my brother Brian's birthday, and just kind of in a nice, loving, positive memory of my brother. And I just thought it was kind of fitting for my first official book launch by myself. So yeah, so thank you.
Thank you for sharing that. I think that's really very touching, and I really just appreciate that. We have, and just the angelic realm, guiding us. I mean, it's very powerful to me. So I really appreciate that. It feels like a special date as well. I felt goosebumps when you were speaking. So thank you.
Thank you. And I want to say something too for you, as you were saying that all three of my things are on the same day. Heck, there's no perfect way to launch, girl. You launched. You launched.
You are the confidence coach, right, Melinda? You got it going.
So, whatever. You got it out there. You did it. You pushed publish. I was talking to someone a couple months ago, and they were like, "Oh, I have 10 books sitting here," and I was like, "Well, why haven't you put them out there? What?" So yeah, no, you pushed publish. It doesn't matter that it wasn't in some perfect, and who says anything's perfect order, right? You pushed publish, and that's amazing. So I love it. It's great.
That's true. Yeah, Lulu's giving us some comments here. So thank you so much, Lulu. Aw, thank you.
You're awesome.
Robin has a comment. Nice interview and sharing. I need the confidence to get my already written novel out there. So yeah, Robin, you're talking to the right people. Connect with us. And you're right. I just wanted to share that about timing. this this my poetry book just came out on February 21st, and so that was like a year in the making, and everything just kind of worked, like it just was really flowing. I'm really into the flow, and just moving with my intuition, and that's exactly what happened. And I I definitely have a plan for my Audible as well. And so I'm the kind of person, and I think we all do it in our own way. So I want to just thank you, Melinda, for sharing that, because I'm the kind of person that like I need to move with the creation. That's just the way I am, and if it's not ready, I won't do it yet, like it'll just have to take its time. So, and I think everyone moves differently. So I just am honoring you for that.
Yeah, and I want to tag on to that because I think this is like one of the most important things that you can figure out in your life is understanding how that feels in your body. So, and that's all the energy. So if it doesn't feel good to you, if you feel like, oh, this doesn't feel good because I'm rushing to get all three things done on the same day, then don't do that. Don't do that. Like,
Right.
Figure it out, break it up, take a break from doing one of the things. It's okay. What that means is just wasn't meant for you to accomplish it that way, and there's no wrong way. So I think the more and more you get in tune to that, I actually had something happen to me several years ago that was my big awakening about that. Like I was like, okay, I was not meant to create this business because I was sick. I was literally had so much anxiety. And then the second, it was going on for months. And the second I said, okay, I'm not going to do this business, it was the craziest freaking experience ever. And ever since then, it was like, you need to operate in flow with what feels good to you and what is, your journey is supposed to be. And I write about, that's one of my chapters, do what feels good. So yeah, you're totally right on. And I also want to say Lulu's one of our fellow writers in our group. So yay!
She had to go, but yeah, Lulu, if you listen to the replay, we're wishing you thank you for listening and chiming in. And thank you to Robin, who shared that she is, because everyone's struggling, right? We struggle sometimes. I just want to say a few things about that because we've both been in this place that, to get our words out, to have the confidence to put it out there, and it's all about, believing that you, just like Melinda shared earlier, we have something special to share. We have something really special that only we can do it. I truly believe this, and I tell all of my clients this as well. Like, only you, Robin, can say these words the way that you wrote them. Even if Melinda and I have similar concepts, we're not going to be writing it the way you do, and someone needs to hear it from you. So I want to just honor you for even posting that comment and sharing that because, we believe in you.
Yeah, totally. And it's so funny you said that because I just read someone else's book and I was thinking, my ego was thinking, oh, we're going to be similar because we're kind of in a similar lane, but not really, but just a little bit, right? And I really like her and nothing negative at all. I really like her. I read her book. Our writing style is so completely different. It was actually like amazing. And it was such an eye-opening experience too. I actually shared the thing with my husband. I was like, oh my God, this is pretty wild. Like our writing style, and her book is great. Nothing wrong with it. We're just completely different. So yes, if you're struggling with thinking that it's, the story's been heard before, the topic's been discussed, like, oh my God, you know how many books of law of affirmation I have on my shelves, and they're all different, the law of attraction,
right.
sorry, and they're all different, right? So yeah, just get it out there, Robin. You're up next. So keep us posted.
We'll be celebrating for you too, Robin. Yeah, thank you, Melinda, for that, because I think that all of us are, have those doubts and those fears. I think it's very natural, and it's about just confronting it, like I do, like probably on a daily basis, actually. Part of the habits that you were sharing, like for me, it's writing and like allowing myself to really confront what is it that's going on with me right now, and allowing myself to move through that. So thank you so much for sharing. Is there anything else you'd like to share before we close in?
Yeah, no, I just am so grateful that you're doing this and sharing all this information with the world and letting me have the opportunity to share as well. So yeah, I'd love to connect with anyone out there. Again, my book comes out March 9th. My mock-up. And I'm really excited that my next book will come out in June. So, as far as like moving through fear and, working on your confidence, if you're working on a project such as a book or starting a business or starting a podcast, there's so many things out there. Just break it down. Just sit with yourself, see how you feel, break it down, journal it. I only try to attack a certain number of things a day, and it's okay to have a to-do list. It's okay to have that list that, is out there that you're working on, and whatever works for you to get it accomplished is fine. That's totally fine, but just do it. Do something. So don't be just, not doing anything. Figure out a way that feels good to you to get something done and accomplished and move forward in your life. So, but yeah, I'd love to connect. You can connect with me on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram. And obviously my website was up in the notes as well. So yeah, I'd love to hear from you. Thank you.
That's amazing. Robin says, woohoo, thanks so much. Chrisabel says, good morning. Good morning to you, Chrisabel. So thank you, all of you who have joined. And if you haven't heard, my latest poetry collection was launched on February 21st. You can find it in Amazon or any online bookseller. Or go to my website, gilanahemia.com, Surreal Love, to get the backstory on my poetry book. So yes, thank you so much, Melinda, for being here today and sharing. Yes, would you like to say something else?
One more thing, because you are going to be on my podcast on Sunday. So yes, so definitely we did a little swap and super fun. So you'll get to hear more about Gila's story and her book on my podcast. So yes.
Thank you so much, Melinda, for mentioning that. Yes, so we'll be sharing all that information here in Facebook and all of our other social media channels. So be sure to follow us so that you get all of the information. And definitely be sure to follow Melinda, but also follow me because I'll be sharing her information when her book comes out. So very exciting times, I think, for all of us on the creative front. So anything that you're wanting to birth, as Melinda said, like, don't be afraid. Or seek us. I'm a mentor as well. We're both here to help. There are other mentors, but we are here for you to really connect into that space of creation. And we have the experience to help you along that path. So definitely don't feel shy. We're here and we're definitely holding space for you.
Do it. Totally.
Just do it. Thank you so much, Melinda.
Thank you. Yes, thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for watching. Have a beautiful, beautiful Thursday.